This rainy and dreary weather may soon take a turn for the worst.
And flood watches and warnings are being issued for Denton and much of North Texas. Good evening. Thank you for joining us on ntTV Nightly News. I'm Chanel Young.
And I'm Isabella Quintanilla. Tonight, weather is the top story for all of North Texas.
We have team coverage with weather anchor Brooke Deering and ntTV's April Perdant at the UNT Emergency Management Center.
First, let's go to Brooke in the studio for the latest. Brooke?
Well, guys, we're definitely seeing that rain that we've been hoping for the past month, but based on the warnings we are receiving, it looks like we might be getting a little too much. The National Weather Service has issued a flood warning for Denton Creek near Justin, Texas from 8 a.m. Thursday until late Friday morning. Those heavy rains are expected to fall around Denton County this evening, bringing us 2 to 3 inches of new rainfall. An expected flood watch has been issued for our area, so make sure you are prepared to act if it develops into a warning and steer clear from driving or walking across those flooded roads or walkways. Right now, our reporter April Perdant is with Corey Olszewski to tell us more about what UNT is doing. April?
Thank you, Brooke. Well, just like you mentioned, I'm here with Corey Olszewski, the Emergency Preparedness Manager. Corey, how are you today?
I'm very well. How are you?
I'm doing good, too. And well, like all of the UNT students received a notification today, which was a flood watch. I know there's a difference between a watch and a warning. Is that correct?
Yes. So when we send out an issue for a watch, that means it's a wide area. A lot of counties, including Denton, usually also Frisco, and these the Collin County area with big storms like this, as we see today. It's not a single storm. It's like a massive complex. So there's a wide area that's being watched, and so we want people to pay attention.
That's awesome. And when it comes to, do you think it'll change in regards to getting an update on like a phone or a phone call, like a text message?
Gotcha. Yeah, so right now we're in the watch period. We only send the Eagle Alert, is probably what you're referencing there, for a tornado. In this case, it's flooding. So that's our what we're looking at today. The tornado threat is very, very low. We're looking at a lot of water, right? A lot of rain. So when we look at the watch area, it's a wide area. The warning is a very small defined area. If that were to be issued by our partners at National Weather Service, who we work with on a day-to-day basis through chat and through text, and we can call them, they will let us know, and we will issue a warning via email for a flood. What we want students to do, especially our commuters, is just pay attention on the roads and walkways. If you see standing water, or if you're in your car or your scooter and you see standing water, drive around it or turn around. Don't drown. It can be covering a manhole. It can be covering a washed out section of the road. We want you to be safe.
Well, thank you so much, Corey, for your time. And well, guys, I hope you stay out there dry. But for now, I'll shoot it back to Brooke, who's in the studio, to give us our to find out what our 24-hour will look like here in Denton.
Thanks, April. Well, right now, if we take a look at our current conditions, the temperature is at 76 degrees with wind speeds at 12 miles per hour. Now, our area is going to be in that flood warning until 7 a.m. tomorrow. So we're going to see that rain head into tonight, where our temperature is going to drop down into the 60s. We're seeing the temperature at 65 degrees, and it's going to feel a little bit cooler with those 15-mile-per-hour winds. If we take a look at tomorrow, we're going to see the temperature go back up into the 80s. It's going to be at 81 degrees, so it's going to be a warmer day, but still not a good day to go out and enjoy the weather, because those storms are going to continue tomorrow with wind speeds at 14 miles per hour. Now, I'll be back with you later in the show for a full weather update. Back to you at the desk.
Thank you, Brooke. Well, the dispute over the next House Speaker has finally come to a close.
And do you wonder why your car takes so long in the shop? We'll have that story after the break.
4 votes, but finally the U.S. House of Representatives has a speaker. Early today, Republicans came together and voted in Congressman Mike Johnson from Louisiana. But the real question is, how fast can Congress get back to business after a 3-week shutdown? CNN's Karen Kafa has the latest.
House Republicans with a vote Wednesday on their 4th nominee to replace Kevin McCarthy as Speaker.
Today is the day that House Republicans will humbly look in our hearts and elect Mike Johnson as Speaker of the People's House.
And this time, closing the deal.
The challenge before us is great, but the time for action is now, and I will not let you down.
Late Tuesday, Louisiana Republican Mike Johnson emerged as the latest pick to wield the gavel after a wild day that saw House Majority Whip Tom Emmer win the nomination and hours later drop his bid, lacking support to win a floor vote. Johnson, an attorney with a focus on constitutional law, was first elected to the House in 2016, serving on the House Judiciary and Armed Services Committees.
Mike Johnson is a good man, and I think as you saw last night, that we are ready for a leader.
He's a tremendous congressman.
An ally of former President Donald Trump, Johnson was a key congressional figure in failed efforts to overturn the results of the 2020 presidential election. House Democratic leader Hakeem Jeffries critical of Johnson's record, but open to finding ways to work together.
All Mike Johnson will need to do is to meet us in a bipartisan way, in that fashion, and we'll be able to work together whenever and wherever possible.
Members of both parties eager to get back to work.
We need to get after the mission, and I feel excited that Mike Johnson's the guy that can bring us together and get us back focused on what we said we would do.
Meanwhile, another politician has a new legal problem. Donald Trump has violated a gag order and now has to pay a $10,000 fine. Trump is on trial charged with fraud, and the judge has now fined him for insulting a member of the court. He was forbidden from publicly insulting courtroom personnel. Trump claims he did not insult the clerk, saying that he was talking about one of the witnesses in the trial. The judge, however, didn't buy that and slapped the fine on Trump. He now has 30 days to pay it.
The longest auto strike in 25 years could be seeing some movement toward resolution. The United Auto Workers Union has been on strike since July of 2023, but seems to be moving toward a potential deal with Ford that could end this strike altogether. The union made a counteroffer to Ford that proposed a 25% general wage increase over the life of the new 4-year contract. These negotiations extended into this morning. Before negotiations took place, Ford, Statoil, and General Motors all offered 23% pay increases. Typically, during past auto strikes, a UAW deal with one automaker has led the other companies to match the same deal for their settlements. It is unclear if the UAW's counteroffer has been accepted or not. Now, speaking of automobiles, if you commute to campus like I do, then you would know that owning a car is a huge responsibility. But while it may be great to have your own ride, accidents do happen. However, recently there are several delays from car repairs from car dealerships, and customers aren't too happy. ntTV's reporter Deja Jackson tells us more. Deja?
Thanks, Chanel. With the union auto worker strike still circling the nation, there may be a longer wait times in the repair shops. Auto parts shortages are nothing new. Production lines have been struggling since before COVID-19, but there are concerns about the problems getting even worse. The UAW strike has hit production plants in companies like Peterbilt, the General Motors, and Mack Trucks. If the production plants don't produce car parts, the supply chain will get backed up. You may want to err on the side of caution when driving this year, because if you get into a wreck, you may not have a car for several weeks. My name is Deja Jackson. I'm reporting live for ntTV. Back to you at the desk.
Thanks, Deja. You know, Isabella, the last time we talked about weather, we got some pretty crazy news, especially with all that rain and so much thunderstorms.
Honestly, I'm really tired of this gloomy weather because it makes me so sleepy.
Same.
I'm really hoping we have some nice and sunny weather in the forecast. Let's check in with our weather anchor, Brooke Deering, and see if she can give us some good news. Brooke?
Thanks, guys. Well, that rain that we're experiencing is coming in from the west and heading east. So all the areas around us are going to be experiencing that rain in the next couple of hours. So if we take a look at our local map, we're seeing temperatures ranging between the 60s and the 80s, with our lowest temperature over in Graham at 65 degrees. We're also seeing Bowie up here at 67 degrees. And then we're seeing our higher temperatures over in Sulphur Springs at 83 degrees and Paris at 81 degrees. If we take a look at our regional map, we're going to see the same patterns from those 60s to those 80s. We're seeing our 69-degree temperature in Abilene, and then we're going to have some 7-degree temperatures in Amarillo, Oklahoma City, and in El Paso over here, as well as our 80-degree temperatures in Houston and Austin. Both Houston and Shreveport seem to have those 85-degree temperatures reaching those 90s. So they're getting that warmer weather like we will be experiencing tomorrow. So if we take a look at our 7-day forecast, we're going to see rain throughout the entire week. Those thunderstorms are going to be pretty heavy on Friday and heading into Saturday, with Friday at a high of 82 degrees and a low of 62 degrees, as well as Saturday at a high of 71 degrees and a low of 60 degrees. Now that rain is going to fizzle out and turn into some light showers with some heavy winds on Sunday. And then we're going to start to see some sun starting on Tuesday and Wednesday. So luckily we'll be ending the week with some sun, but those temperatures are going to be dropping pretty drastically. We're seeing Monday at a high of 47 degrees and a low of 34 degrees. So it's definitely going to be time to take out that winter coat and get ready for those winter temperatures. That's all I have for weather. Back to you at the desk.
Thanks, Brooke. Well, it looks like we're not the only ones experiencing monsoon season. California's Death Valley is the hottest and driest place in North America. With all of the rain and flooding that has hit many areas across the U.S. because of Hurricane Hilary, parts of Death Valley have started blooming. Death Valley is now looking like an oasis rather than a desert. The National Park Service says that Hurricane Hilary dumped a year's worth of rain, 2.2 inches to be exact, on Death Valley in just 24 hours. This has established a new record as the wettest day in the park's history. This is the most rain the valley has seen since 1911. The Salt Flats struggled to absorb the water, and the Death Valley National Park had to close from late August to mid-October. This was the longest closure in its history. Today, the park, previously known for its desolate landscape, features a brand new lake and blooming flowers spanning the desert's entire surface. Now, I don't think I would have ever called a desert beautiful, but just look at it. Wow, it looks colorful and bright, and I would love to go see that someday.
Anyone who has stepped foot onto the University of North Texas knows that our campus is absolutely beautiful, especially with abundant greenery and trash-free sidewalks. ntTV's reporter Kayla Bumpus tells us how UNT is constantly working to keep the Mean Green mission alive for the campus and the world.
UNT's campus is absolutely beautiful, and their goal is to keep it that way. That is why there's no shortage to the recycling bins here at UNT. So whether you're in the union, in class, or just walking around campus, there will definitely be more than one place to throw your things away. The Mean Green mission here at UNT is to recycle as much of our waste as possible and to reduce contamination on campus. There are so many things that you can recycle, including cardboard, plastic, aluminum, glass, paper, and even batteries are welcomed in the bins. I was able to ask a couple of UNT students to see what they thought of the recycling on campus.
Do you think that recycling is important here at UNT?
I really do, because we're a green campus, and you see all the signs everywhere. It just says, "We mean green," and I think that's insane. I think it's awesome, and especially with the recycling all over campus. I see people doing it every day.
I think it's really important because there's like a bunch of recycling bins all around campus, and students drop off their bottles into the recycle bins.
UNT even took part of the Race to Zero Waste in January of 2023. The goal was to eliminate the most waste on campus and reinforce the 8R principles, which include reimagine, reduce, reuse, repurpose, resell, recycle, reform, and recruit. If you want to learn more, check out facilities.unt.edu and click recycling to learn more about how to keep our campus green.
Coming up, you might think twice before reaching for that next potato chip.
And Halloween parties beware. Airbnb is cracking down on renters.
The do's and don'ts of the Pole Rec Center. See that man over there? Please do not hog weights. Instead, do this. Another important part is having an attentive spotter. See, here is an example of a non-attentive spotter. Instead, do this. Now we head to the track, which should be pretty easy, just it's important to pay attention to the way the track goes. Remember to wipe down the equipment after you're done using it. The towels are provided by the gym, so it's pretty easy to wipe down the equipment when you are done. Thank you for using the Pole Recreation Center.
October is spookier than ever for Airbnb owners as people rush to book venues for Halloween parties. However, Airbnb is finding new ways to prevent the damage done by these notorious get-togethers. AI technology has been activated to filter through bookings using trip length, location, and the time of booking to indicate whether a reservation is being made for a party. Airbnb tried out this system last year and it kept thousands of people from booking homes on holidays like Halloween and New Year's. So if you're looking to host a monster mash, you might have to do it in your own home. Now, I love Halloween, but my favorite part is definitely the candy, and I'm more of a savory snack girl myself.
Oh, I feel you, but you know what? I wish I could say that one was better than the other, but a new study by the British Medical Journal says that highly processed foods like candy, chips, ice cream, and French fries can be as addictive as heroin. This is real, folks. The combination of ultra-processed carbs and fats tricks our brains into seeing these foods as a reward, similar to the effect of nicotine in cigarettes. Researchers say that at least 14% of adults and 12% of children are addicted to these foods today. For all of you tennis and pickleball lovers, we have some exciting news for you. Our ntTV reporter April Perdant has the latest on Denton's grand opening of a new center.
Grab a paddle or a racket, and it's game on.
We're here today at the Denton Tennis and Pickleball Center that is celebrating our grand opening.
With a total of 8 pickleball courts and 12 tennis courts, the city of Denton went from drawings and construction to now a dream come true for many local tennis and pickleball enthusiasts alike.
I play both pickleball and tennis, so I was excited that they were opening up a new tennis center. We don't have pickleball courts at the old tennis center.
For others, it was a rewarding accomplishment watching this project turn into a reality for the Denton community.
The citizens have voted on and requested, and it's one of those things where I'm excited we're able to deliver on that promise.
That promise has set a foundation for future generations to come out and enjoy the facilities.
While we're celebrating today, we still have a lot of work to do. We want people out here all the time using the courts, growing up playing pickleball, growing up playing tennis, being healthy and active in our park system, just really trying to help our community have a healthy lifestyle.
And research studies show that playing tennis or pickleball increases your life expectancy rate.
So that adds 9.7 years to your life, so we're really trying to get that out there.
According to the Sports and Fitness Industry Association, pickleball participation has increased more than 158% in the last 3 years.
Pickleball is an easy game to pick up, and so you'll see, all ages out here, and so it's a great game to if you want to learn something fast.
As popularity keeps increasing, plans are already in the works for the future of this center.
And just serving our citizens well, but the community's continuing to grow, so we need more space, more courts to accommodate that growth and the new people.
And because of Denton's passion to meet Denton residents' needs, the City of Denton's Parks and Recreation Department has earned national accreditation for standards of excellence through the Commission for Accreditation of Parks and Recreation Agencies and the National Recreation and Park Association.
For ntTV News, I'm April Pernod.
Speaking of pickleball, it is a great time to be a sports fan in the DFW area right now.
I know. There's practically a game every night of the week at this point, and I cannot get enough.
Me neither. Let's head over to our sports reporter, Jay Lathon, to tell us what else he has for us that can fuel our sports craze. What's up, Jay?
Stay tuned right here to hear more on ntTV News. I know you guys can't wait to hear about sports, but first, let's talk about how UNT is getting their students hyped for their homecoming football game. This weekend, our live shot reporter, Landry Brady, is live from the Coliseum to tell us more. Landry?
Thanks, Jay. It's homecoming week here at the University of North Texas, and we have already had a week of exciting events like the kickoff event and also Scrappy Scavenger Hunt. But tonight is the most anticipated UNT tradition yet, the Yell Like Hell. Yell Like Hell, which is hosted by the Progressive University Black Students Organization, as well as UNT's student activities, is a talent competition full of singing, dancing, and other performances in order to get UNT students into the Mean Green spirit. So be sure to come out to the Coliseum tonight at 7 and support all these student organizations that are putting on their performances. And be sure to be on the lookout for other organizations that are putting on events later this week, like the bonfire tomorrow night and also this Saturday's game. Remember to have a fun and safe and exciting homecoming week, and be sure to have fun. Now back to you in the studio for sports.
Thanks, Landry. The Dallas Mavericks open their season tonight in San Antonio against the Spurs. This game not only has high expectations to see if the backcourt of Luka Doncic and Kyrie Irving finally starts gelling together, but it also is the debut of Victor Wembanyama. Victor was the #1 pick in this year's draft, and the hype for this 7'4" unicorn is compared to the debut of LeBron James. This highly anticipated matchup is set to start at 8:30 at Frost Bank Center. From frost to the ice, the Dallas Stars played last night against the Pittsburgh Penguins. The Penguins took an early lead with a goal by Brian Rust in the first period. But after that, it was all Stars. Jason Robertson and Evgeny Dodonov scored goals in the second period. In the third period, goals by Thomas Harley along with Wyatt Johnston put the game out of reach. The Stars could win this game with a final of 4-1. Staying in Pennsylvania, the Arizona Diamondbacks beat the Philadelphia Phillies last night in Game 7 of the NLCS. This means the World Series matchup is set. The Texas Rangers will face the Arizona Diamondbacks in Game 1 here in Texas at Globe Life Field. This is the first time since 2011 that the Rangers will host a World Series game. First pitch will be on Friday night at 7:03. I'm Jay Lathan, and this has been Sports. Back to you at the desk.
Thanks, Jay. A family in North Carolina had a grisly surprise waiting for them in the car.
That's right, Chanel, a 250-pound bear and her cubs attempted to snag a free ride in the unsuspecting family's minivan. Deputies responded to the call and said that all they saw were snouts and eyes. Dave Faherty has the story.
This is body cam video of Deputy Scott Bray and Tom Gwynn arriving at the home near Banner Elk. They believe the mama bear managed to get the door of the minivan open, and then she and her cubs climbed inside and the door closed behind them. The windows were so fogged up, it was difficult to see much of anything.
Right when we saw the bear, all we saw was snout and eyes. It was looking right at us.
Because of the damage inside, the rear sliding doors no longer worked. The deputies decided to tie rope to the front door handle and pull from a safe distance. Watch as the mama bear climbs out, but she didn't leave, instead turning around and getting up on her hind legs.
Didn't really know what to think at the moment, but it's kind of a scary situation, but ended very well.
It was then the men learned there were cubs in the rear of the van. The sheriff described them as yearlings, most likely born last year. The two deputies worked together to coax them out. Both cubs ran toward the backyard where they were reunited with their mother and another cub that was watching from a tree.
We learned a valuable lesson. Just because you're out in the mountains and you don't think you need to lock your doors, you need to go ahead and lock your doors to your vehicles.
This just goes to show you, you never know what you're going to run into as a deputy sheriff.
Oh my gosh, that is so adorable. I really wish I met a bear. They look so cute and soft and cuddly.
I don't care how cute and cuddly they are. If they're in the back of my car, I am running the other way. They can have the car, whatever. Hopefully they learn how to drive.
What? You know what, then let's hope that there are no bears in the parking lot when the show is over. Thank you guys for watching ntTV Nightly News.
Join us again tomorrow at noon and tomorrow evening at 6 here on North Texas Television. That was funny. I love that story.
You said hopefully.